Hello crafters, feast your eyes on this. This is my felt tip pen box. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh, one of them's jumped out, and that's a black felt tip pen, and that's the one we're going to be using today. At Spa Sweethearts, I'm going to get out a spare just in case, always a good idea. At Spa Sweethearts this month we should have been doing calligraphy, but it's been postponed, and because of that I'm going to show you the videos this month are all going to be related to lettering. So what you need, you do not need all those felt tip pens, although it's always a good idea to have thousands of felt tip pens. All you need is one colour. I'm going to use black today because it's the easiest for you to see, but it doesn't matter what colour you choose, just one we're sticking with. And what we're going to do is combine Zentangle and lettering to create ourselves a Zentangled letter. I have chosen F for Felicity or for our director Frank, either way, but obviously you can choose any letter that you want. So all you need for this, you could do with having a pencil and a rubber, in case you don't want to be instantly doing everything in black felt tip pen. One coloured felt tip pen. These are my lovely Go Nicely, they're called Flare, and they go along, but it really doesn't matter, anything you want. You can get posh felt tip pens for lettering, but really I'm happy with just using any one that you've got. And we need to have a big stock of paper, any kind of paper you want, but you will need to do some practicing. I'm going to pause, change something, and then I can show you how to do it. Okay, so now we have our board up so that you can see it. So what we're looking at is a letter here. Now Zentangle is basically doodling. Remember when you were in the back of the chemistry class and you were doodling on your pencil case? Now that I'm the teacher, I'm not going to tell you off, I'm going to encourage you to do it. Black and white, just doodling. That's what we're doing. That was the heart that I'd used the other week, and I filled that with the same sorts of patterns like that. And I'll show you another couple of things that you can do with it afterwards. So it doesn't have to be a letter. You can do something else you want. But we're going to look at lettering today and do it like that. And I'll show you all the stages for us to do it. So I'm going to use a pencil first of all, which I know will be light for just a moment. Bear with me. Okay, I'm going to do an S for Sweethearts now. So what we're going to do is just draw right in the middle of our page an S that we are in just a really simple one like that. I'm now going to draw a line at that end and that end like that. Okay, I'm just going to check with my director you can see that carefully. Can you see that, director? Excellent. So we've got that and that. Now I'm pressing on really hard with the pencil. You keep it as light as you can. Now I'm going to join up that top line so that we're basically making a fat S. That line is going to go round to join that one, and this line is going to come round to join that one. And now we're going to get a fat S. You can see that that one's slightly wobbling as I've gone round, and that's fine, you can draw that. Now practice that a little bit. Lettering does take a little bit of practice. And then you need to rub out the line that's in the middle there. Okay, and magically you will end up with an S that looks like that, a fat S or whatever letter it is that you're doing. And so the first thing you need to do then is to draw around your outline of your S. Okay, so that you now, when you're happy with it, you now need to have a nice black S. Now I don't like to rub out until I get to the very end. So even though you can see bits of pencil here, you don't need to rub out till the end. If you rub out your felt tip pen too quickly, it can smudge it. So we'll leave it to just, settle and dry a little bit. I'm going to put my lid on. Now, if you look at my original one, you are looking at doing patterns in different sections, a little bit like patchwork. Now you can do it in stripes if that's your thing. You can do it in stripes going this way or this way or this way, any way you like. But my preferred way is to do this patchwork effect. So instead of making sure, the trouble with doing stripes is accuracy and getting it all the same. Not something I find easy, accuracy. So I'm basically just going to cut off this top section like that and draw into here. And I'm going to draw a pattern. Now, what pattern pattern shall I do? I'm going to do checks. So I don't want to draw it with rulers and have it all looking perfect. I could print that off the computer if I wanted it to look like that, and I don't. So I'm going to do checks, but I'm going to do a wiggly line of checks. So I'm going to do wiggly lines that way, and then I'm going to do wiggly lines the other way, like that. And I'm going to colour in all the alternate ones. So I'm going to choose where I'm going to start, and I'm just going to colour in this one like that. Pause. So by the power of editing, I've now coloured in each alternate one, and you can pause the video, freeze frame it so that you can see what you're doing. Now I don't want to do a perfect little thing there. I'm going to do a swirl here and cut off this section as our next one. Now you can do this any way you like. I'm just going to show you some ways because that was quite a straight square one. The next one is going to be curly. So what I'm going to do is just draw some circles. Okay, I hope that you can see that. Can you, director? Can we see that? Like this? Yes? So we've got circles that we can see there in between, but they're a little bit boring like that. So inside each circle, I'm going to do a cross. And this is your way. You know, like doodling, it's your way. Doesn't matter how it looks, it's going to look really, really good. Doesn't matter what it is. So we've got our crosses inside there, slightly different one. So our next section, I'm going to curl our next section like that and do the whole of this one. And for this one, what shall I do with this one? I'm going to do some flowers. I'm going to do a little circle and I'm going to draw those around. We did that a few weeks ago on something, on one of the videos where we were drawing a simple flower. And we will come back to some of these simple drawing things when we do some embroidery in a few weeks. So I'm colouring in that centre bit black just because I want to have a little bit of black. One of the things that you are doing when you're doing this is you have to imagine if it would be going off the edges. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way through. Imagine there where I've got to an edge you would do it. Oh, I'm going to colour that one like that. Okay, fabulous. We're nearly there. Now, I think I've done two sort of curly ones together there. So I'm going to do, for my next section here, I'm going to do some stripes. So I'm going to do this one as a stripy one. Oh, that's a little bit boring, isn't it? Let's make each one of those stripes a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. Okay, and then I'm going to put a zigzag inside each one like that. We'll pause and catch that one up too. So I did those little zigzags and then I coloured each one in. So I was just going to do the last one for you so that you can see that. Now last week when we were doing the Mexican tin decorations, I said more is more in the decoration stakes, and that's the same here. So I've left a little space, and inside each of those spaces now I'm going to draw a little dot because we're going to do, you know, lots and lots of decoration is the idea here. So we've got loads of things. When you're doing it, when you're planning and you're thinking of your own ways of doodling, balance up the ones that have a lot of thick black in them and the ones that have less in. So because we've got two thick black ones there, my next section is going to have more of the white, less of the black. And this time I'm going to do curls. And these curls are going to just come around, filling up the space. One of the things I've noted while doing curls is make your curl go further than you think, so it's got a really good end to it. So make sure you're going right round in a good spirally, snaily way. I mean, don't do that. Don't do it like that. Do it like that. Okay, obviously don't do it on the edge of your piece of paper either, but I'm showing you that. Make your spiral go all the way around and make sure those things are going to the edge. Lovely. Now I don't want to do the whole of that section together, so I'm going to knock that one off in one like that. and I'm going to show you one of the ones that's good. I'm just thinking about what to do here. Okay, I'm going to do a sort of V shape on this one, but this time I'm curling it up a little bit. Curling it up. And I'm going to do that going backwards this way. So obviously I'm hoping that you're getting the idea that anything is okay to do with this. You can decide whether you want to have like lots and lots of your colour if you've not chosen black and you're doing a different one, or whether you're going to do it more so it looks whiter, but you're basically just doodling inside your lettering shape so that you end up with this patchworky look. Okay, so I'm just making that one up as I go along like that. And on this one here, I'm just going to show you a little technique. We drew the circles, and I'm not going to colour in the circle, but I'm going to colour in the bit in between the circle, like colouring in the background. If you really wanted to go crazy on Zentangle, I have seen some people doing this where they Zentangle all the background and then the letter itself is white, and that looks really effective too. People have used this with Sharpies on chairs or radiators or boxes or all kinds of things if you are using the permanent pen. But see how nicely that makes those ones come out like that by drawing something relatively simple, just a little square, not a square at all, a circle. So we've got that and just doing that background. So we've got one left here, and I'm going to do something in a different kind of direction now. I'm going to do some following the natural part of the S, and then I'm going to do these little lines downwards. Really simply like that. And then we're going to colour some bits in again in between. So we'll go to doing just a square inside, I think, this time actually. So instead of doing the whole thing, I'm going to put a little black square inside and colour that in like that. And then around that edge, because I want it to be even more decorated, I'm going to carry on doing those tiny little straight lines like that all the way through. When you come back next time, we'll be nearly finished. Okay, so I finished colouring in those ones and did some bits like that, and then I have just carefully rubbed out the bits of pencil that are in between. Do be a little bit careful when you're rubbing all the way. You can smudge it, so just do it carefully where you need to do your bits there so that it isn't there. And that's the kind of thing that you're ending up with. If square things are your are more your bag than the curly things, here's another one that's quite nice to do. And this one as well, which is like a wave, is another good thing to do. There are hundreds of different patterns you could do. It's less about copying my exact one and more about making your own. So originally on the F that we had at the beginning, there were some curls added to the edge just to make it more interesting. You don't have to do it as a letter at all. And yet again, we've got the what would you do with it thing, and they make really good cards. If I just show you this one here, this time instead of doing the outline of a letter, it's the outline of a cat. And then I thought it looked a bit bare, so I gave him a moon. So you've got that like that with still some space to write if you wanted to. The other thing is that you don't have to just simply do onto white background. On this one, I have watercoloured a background first of all, and then kept to some more stripes. Tomorrow at the Zoom, I am going to show you a cactus, because we don't usually do cactuses, and this time we're going to do a cactus, and that will be on a background like this. So if you do want to prepare a background, you can do that. So stay tuned for more lettering, and I will see you soon. Bye.